Hello to all of my viewers and another exciting episode of Match Point, and this time my match point will be a little bit different. No more cricket because we are on the hot run. Football, FIFA World Cup on its way. Yes, you are right. The prestigious event of FIFA World Cup, the most watched World Cup around the world, around the globe, is on its way. We are approaching it. Very soon this FIFA World Cup will be the 21st edition of the World Cup, which we will be seeing along with the whole world. And this 21st FIFA World Cup will be played between June and July as like its previous predecessors. It will be started and it will be kicked off on 14th of June with the host nation Russia will be kicking this off on the 14th against Saudi Arabia, who have made their way after 1994 exit. And Russia has been given the spot as an automatically qualified host for the first time. After long time, Russia will be a part of this prestigious event. And if you are not knowing, I want to tell you that Russia was awarded this prestigious tournament. They were awarded to host this World Cup on 2nd of December 2010, and that was the most happiest time for the Russia. And if I go forward and further, if you remember very well that this tournament has been played now in the Europe, and this is the first time since 2006 that World Cup is back in Europe. But still time to see that whether the European giants will take this opportunity to grab the World Cup or not, because as the football fans are very much familiar that this is the all epic battle between the South Americans and the Western Europe, always the dominancy over the century between these two continents of the world. So still time to go and still time to see that whether as it is back in the Europe, so still European team will dominate this or the South American zone will dominate this. If you remember or not remember, I may remind you that the last time when the Europe was hosting the World Cup, that was back in the 2006 road to the Berlin, when the Berlin, Stuttgart, Dortmund and lot of German cities were hosting this prestigious event, and the sorry Germans were lost in the semi-finals by the hand of Italians, and Italians ultimately winning that World Cup for the record 4th time at that time. And Germans lost the crucial knockout punch game in the Dortmund by the hand of Italians in front of 25,000 weeping, crying fans. Still I remember that moment very much, as I was a live witness and covering that event at that time. And now we are here at 2018 FIFA World Cup, 21 and 21st World Cup of its own kind. So let's give you some more news and more knowledge about the FIFA World Cup, what it's all about, what are the teams, how we progress, how the pools have been separated, how the giants have been separated, and is there any pool of death? Yes, it is. I will tell you about the pool of death. There is a pool of death like the every football game and like the every football World Cup. Here, this time, still there is a pool of death. And who are the unlucky nations who are in this pool of death? Because 2 have to proceed and 2 will have to pack their bags back to the home. So the first World Cup, as I told you, after the 2006 in the Germany, which is back in the Europe, but I tell you that this is the 11th time that the tournament has been held in the Europe. 11th time, and the final tournament will be involving the 32 national teams. And I will tell you the history when I will go forward in the show, that how it was proceeded to the 32 and how many nations were before back in the previous World Cups. So this means 31 teams will be determining through the qualifying competitions and will be going to the round of 16. 2 have to go home from every group, and those 16 will go for the quarterfinals, and then from those 8 will be going to the semi-finals, 4 will be going to the semi-finals, and obviously then 2 for the final and for the grand finale we will decide the champion, the new FIFA champion on 15th of July 2018. So 20 teams are making the back-to-back. Out of 32 teams, the 20 teams are like this, who are making the back-to-back appearances in the FIFA World Cup. When the tournament was last played in 2014, won by the Germans. So including the defending champions Germany, they also made their way back to back. The tournament was expanded to the 24 in the 1982, because before there was a 12 nations, 18 nations. But when we moved to the 1982, that was Espana 82. If you remember, I still have the flashbacks of Rossi and his golden goals in the quarterfinals when Italians were the underdogs, and then suddenly in the semi-finals scoring for the Italy's. And then I remember that dangerous penalty kick which was awarded to Italians in the early 15 minutes of the game against the Germans, and Italy missed that penalty. But in spite of missing that penalty, Italy made the hat-tricks of the World Cup and eventually beating West Germany. At that time, that was not the combined Germany, that was the West Germany. And I remember the crying and the shouting Francis Beckenbauer and his team out of the World Cup in the grand finale, and the Italians and Paolo Rossi became the superstar and the overnight hero for the Italy in the 1982 World Cup. So that 1982 World Cup was the landmark. As I'm discussing the teams, so I just want to tell you that that was the very first time when the tournament was expanded to the 24 nations. That was the time when we saw that lot of new names came, and 24 nations strike with each other for this prestigious award, FIFA World Cup. And then when we reached the 1998, that was the last World Cup of the previous century. Yes, and that was won by the France, who were always the underdogs in the FIFA World Cups. Michel Platini wishing all the times during his lifetime career that he might be able to win the World Cup, but Michel Platini was unable to do so. But Michel Platini was one of the happiest men on that day, along with Zinedine Zidane and Louis Martin, a lot of big names from the French team, and David Kozia, and who had won this prestigious event in the 1998. That was the last World Cup of the century, last World Cup of the previous century. So France put their stamp in the last century by winning and by beating the favorites Brazil in the grand finale, and France beating them, and that was the first time we saw in the World Cup the 32 teams. So still onwards from that World Cup 1992, later on we moved to the South Korea in 2002, later on we moved to the Berlin 2006, and then we moved to the 2010 when Spain picked the World Cup, and then we moved to the 2014 when Germans picked the World Cup. So in all these latest era events, teams were expanded to the 32, number 32. So still in this World Cup in Russia, when we are doing the road to the Russia, in Russia still 32 teams will have been divided into the 8 groups, and they will fight for this prestigious event. So as I'm telling you about the team records, that 20 teams have made back-to-back appearances. So Iceland and Panama, these are the two nations who have joined this prestigious World Cup for the very first time in their life. So one of the very proud moments for Iceland and Panama. Let's see until which round they will proceed when the FIFA World Cup will be underway and once it will be kicked. So total of 64 matches will be played in this 2018 Russian World Cup in 11 different cities and 12 different stadiums. So I will tell you the details of stadiums also, and I will tell you about the grand finale, that what is the seating capacity and what's gonna happen before the final, and what if you are a Russian fan or a Russian citizen, what benefit you can have, what privilege you are having which we are not having. So you have to stay tuned to Iyawaz, and you will have to stay tuned to the match point. So the winners of the World Cup who will win this prestigious event this time in the 2018 will automatically qualify for the 2021 Confederation Cup. They will not have to play any qualifying games and they will be automatically right jump into the Confederations game. So I can tell you, if you can see on my screen, there are 8 groups where FIFA World Cup has been designed, and they will fight for the one trophy, and where they will fight in their own groups, and then they will strike against each other, and there will be the intercrossing when they will reach to the group of 16. So there are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and group F, as I told you, will be the pool of death. So here we go. The first screen, you can see that the group A, where the host Russia is along with the Saudi Arabia, and you can see the Egypt, who have made their way after the 1990 World Cup, Italia 90, in which Italy team was out of the quarterfinals, and eventually it was the rematch of the 1986 World Cup grand finale, and the same arch rivals Argentina and Germany, they were back to back after the 1986 game when Diego Maradona beat them up in the final. This was the revenge match, and Germans winning and scoring the winning goal in the final moments of the game. I will tell you as the program will proceed. Would you believe that that goal was scored in the 90th minute on the penalty shootout, and 4 Argentine players, they were sent off with a red card, and that was the new record of the FIFA World Cups. So I was recalling those matches. So these are the 2 arch rivals, and the last final which we saw in the 2014 in Brazil, that was also between the 2 arch rivals. One are the giants of South America, and others are the giants of the Western Europe, Germans and Argentina. It was all about Muller and about the Lionel Messi. So Lionel Messi had to lose that time, and Argentina were the sorry figures in the last World Cup. So I was just telling you that Egypt is back after the 1990 Italia World Cup. If I go to the group B, now you can see on the screens, group B, Portugal and Ronaldo. The lot of fans around the globe, and especially in the North America, lot of Portugal fans and lot of Portugal population is over here as a expats, and lot of Ronaldo fans. So they will be seeing and watching specifically group B, where the Spain, the 2010 world champions, will be there along with the Portugal, but they will have to see the minnows there, the Morocco and Iran. And then we go to the group C, where France, the 1998 World Cup winners, will be there, and Australia, who have qualified from the Oceania zone, where there is a 0.5 points when qualifying during the 4 years of the World Cup. From the Oceanian zone, you are seeing that Australia is qualifying since a lot of times, but this time their premier players will not be in their team. But we will see what will be the Australia's run in this World Cup. Group C, they will strike with France, Peru and Denmark, one of the other Scandinavians. The Scandinavian giants along with the Sweden, Denmark has been placed in this group. So now I go to the group D. Group D, another South American giant, as I told you, Argentina will be on the top of this pool, Iceland will be there, Croatia will be there, Nigeria will be there. So lot of Nigerian fans, and we will see this time how will be the rough tackling. Nigeria, as you know, the very rough handlers of the ball, and the last time when they were in the 1990 and the 94 World Cup, their stretch was towards the quarterfinal, and unfortunately they were out of the quarterfinal in spite of playing very good game, but with lot of red cards. So this time we will see that how Nigeria improves, or still the body game will be like that. So then I go to the group E. Group E is the team in the group E which is having the most fans around this globe. If I count the fans on my fingers, no team is having more fans than this team. The top of this group is the Brazilian team. The Brazil, that 5 times FIFA world champions, the team of Pele, the team of Ronaldo, the team of Rivaldo, the team of Roberto Carlos, the team of Ronaldinho. I count the names and the stars will not finish. So lot of Brazilian fans around the globe will be watching, especially this group E, along with the Switzerland, Costa Rica, Serbia. Costa Rica is having lot of bad fortune at the World Cups. If you remember the 1994 World Cup, later you remember if the 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Japan, usually Costa Rica eventually losing an early exit from the World Cup. So next I go to the group G. So when I go to the group G, we can see Belgium, we can see Panama, we can see Tunisia, who have made the World Cup after a long time. After the 2 decades they have made back. English team will be there, England will be there. And then I come to the most important group, which is a group of death. Yes, group of death is the F group. F group is having the 4 giants in that group. So very tough competition. 2 will have to move forward and 2 will have to go home. So who we will have to see, and you will have to watch match point that who is in and who is out of the World Cup. So group F, Germans, the defending champions, will be there. Mexico, the South American champions, will be there. The Mexico who has hosted the 1986 World Cup, the quarter-finalists and one of the strong team in that continent, Mexico will be there. The Sweden, one of the Scandinavia giants, they will be there. And the 4th team, the Korean Republic, South Korea, who had made to the semi-finals of the 2002 World Cup in their home, they will be there. And this is a group of death. So have to see that who will be accompanying Germans, or either Germans will be going or not, but there is a strong possibility that Germany will be proceeding. But who will be the partner of the Germany, we will have a strong look. We will have to see who will come forward. So last group before the break I have to tell you is a group H. So group H, Polish, Poland. Thanks God that Germans and Polish are in the 2 different groups. Otherwise there are a lot of hooligans in the past. You have seen they are sharing the border. Even when I went first time to the German border and I saw that sharing boundary, that how hooligans happen and how those crazy fans are, I can't explain what they do to each other. They are just like the arch rivals North Korea, South Korea, Pakistan, India, Australia, England in the Ashes. They are just like that, Poland and the Germans. But this time they are in the different group. So thanks God that we will have the less hooligans. So Polish team will be in the group H. Senegal, who have made their appearance back after the 1990, after a very good quarter-final run, and after the 2002 World Cup, they have made their way back to these final 32. Senegal will be the 2nd team. Colombia will be the 3rd team. Japan will be the 4th team. Japan, who has made also to the quarterfinals in the 2002 World Cup, very good run. And of course Colombia will be there. And when Colombia story will be coming, I will be telling you in the future upcoming show that what happened to the Colombia, what was so special in the 2002 World Cup, what was something special in the decades of 90 when one World Cup was played, what happened in the 1994 when the Colombian striker scored a goal. So this story I will share with you. So before the break, I will just tell you that you have to keep tuned to the E-Awaz, the most watched television sports network around in the North America, and the most watched sports show, Match Point by Dr. Adnan, exclusively on the E-Awaz, on IPTV boxes, on the internet, on the Jadoo boxes. You can follow us, and we are covering exclusively the extensive coverage on the upcoming 21st edition of FIFA World Cup 2018, and this is Road to Russia trophy. As you know about this prestigious trophy, this was Coupe du Monde, Jules Rimet, and now the new trophy which has been hosting after the 74. But some questions on your mind I will leave before the break. Where is Jules Rimet trophy? That is no more. Where it has gone? You have to tune in the match point. I am here to tell you that where is Jules Rimet trophy and where it has gone. Does it exist in this world or not? But you will have to watch Match Point. So stay tuned to the Match Point. I will be right back. welcome back on the Match Point. Yes, lot of stories to tell you, and if you have tuned the television right now, so I will tell you that we are discussing about the FIFA World Cup 2018 Road to Russia. So we are building up shows and we are creating the hype for the 21st FIFA World Cup. We will see who will clinch this World Cup. As I have told you before the break, 32 nations will strike against each other and they will fight for the one cup, one trophy, which is very important. And I'm gonna tell you the story at the end of the show, that where is the old trophy, where is Jules Rimet trophy. But let's tell you about the tickets, because you will be excited to know, might be you are traveling from North America or Canadian zone to watch this World Cup. So if you have not bought your ticket, you could be in the deep trouble. But instead of this, I will give you some optimistic points that still tickets are available online. But I want to tell you that for this World Cup, 2.4 million tickets have been sold out. 2.4 million tickets have been allocated to the football fans around the globe to watch this prestigious event. And sales have been started back in the September 2017 and still it is going on. And people are getting crazy. But if you are from Russian Federation and you are living in the North America, hurry up, book your tickets of the plane and go. You can have lot of advantage, lot of good views. See how I will tell you. This is the first ever time in the 2018 World Cup what we are seeing right now, which we have not seen in any previous World Cup, any previous football World Cup we have not seen. And that first of all, I just let me tell you that how many tickets have been bought, so that might be you can understand that which is the most crazy nation for the football. So some of the tickets categories I have seen, I brought for you, that how many tickets gone and in which category and which country has taken the more tickets. So here we go. Russian fans, they have taken 8,071, 797 tickets have been gone for the Russia. And next comes USA, 88825 ticket, 88,825. Brazil have taken 72,512 tickets for this FIFA World Cup. Colombia, the sale goes to the 65,234. Germany, the sale goes to the 62,541 tickets have been sold out to the Germans. Mexico, 60,302 World Cup tickets. Argentina, 54,031. Down the list, Peru, 43,583. China, 40,251 Chinese visitors have seen buying the tickets, and they are coming to the Russia to accommodate and to see this World Cup. Australia, from the Oceania zone, from the other part of the world, they are coming. 36,359 fans have taken the tickets. And last but not the least, English fans will be there. England, 32,369 fans have bought the tickets. So now I'm coming to the point that I told you, if you are a Russian fan and you are living in North America, around Canada, Ontario, or in the States, around the Cleveland, Buffalo, New York, so you have to move to the Russia. If you want to see the World Cup, go and watch the World Cup, because there is a category 4 for you. Category 4 ticket has not been for me or anyone else around the globe. Category 4 ticket is only exclusively for the Russian residents. You will have to show your passport or the ID, and this category will only be given to the Russian residents, and this will be on the quite low price, so that none of the Russian who is able to watch or who is able to watch the stadium might not miss the game. But again, first come first serve basis. If the seats will be there in this category, there will be no more foreigners will be there. The whole Russian flag and the seats where they will be sitting in the category 4, they have been organized with a huge Russian flag. Russian flag will be provided, the free food will be provided, the free drinks will be provided in this very specific category. So expected to sell out quickly. And then there is another ticket that is named the POV. Yes, POV is a partially obstructed view. there is a partial obstructed view that is 50% off, that is on the side of the goal post. If you are on the parallel of the goal post, that is okay, but if you are making the 45-degree angle along with the goal post, there is an obstructed view and you cannot enjoy the World Cup and you cannot enjoy the football game because you are sitting in a cross position. But if you are buying this, you will get the 50% discount, and if you are a Russian citizen, on the top of that you will get a more 20% discount on showing your ID. So these two categories will be grasped, I think, by the Russian residents most of all. And then I want to tell you, if you are traveling from the North America zone, that there is a fan ID. Please don't move without the fan ID. You will have to go with a fan ID. Let's tell you about the fan ID. The official identity document has been issued to the fans. Fans are encouraged to apply for this free document. You can apply online. Once you are in Russia, you can apply from there. You can go to their office, and just like the accreditation card, they will issue you the one fan ID. This fan ID is non-transferable. This cannot be given to the any other fan, and that ticket will be wasted. If you want to switch, immediate relatives can grasp this ticket, but the fan ID will have to be transferred in the presence of a certified document or along with a notified documentation. Without that, it will not be transferred. And why it is that? Because of the security concerns and what's going around the globe. I don't want to go to some controversies in my show, but a lot of threats have been there for this Russian Federation game, and Lionel Messi have been targeted also, and that Lionel Messi he will not be upset by these. I don't think so that he should have been upset by these news, but these are the part and parcel of the every game, and these news are coming. So to make the security arrangements and the foolproof games, that's why these games have been organized like that. So there is a visa-free entry to the Russian Federation, and there is a certain free intercity travel. If you are not a Russian fan, even you are traveling from some another zone, in between the buses and the trains, if you are having the valid fan ID, you will be given the free travel on the buses and on the trains. You will not be taken any charge. Free use of public transport also in the match days, and also the local restaurants, they will also give you the offers and some more discounts. Official FIFA World Cup mascot. You can see on the pictures now the 2018 mascot, a wolf named Zebiweka, the one who scores in Russian. It means the one who scores, was unveiled on 21st of October 2016, and this Zebiweka will be the official mascot, and the student designer is Ekaterina Bekarova, who has designed this mascot, and with the internet polling, this has become the official mascot. So what I tell you about, and after the mascot, the second most important thing to tell you after the mascot is the official ball, which is very important to tell you. Every time when FIFA World Cup is underway, there is a special ball which has been designed by the designer, and that ball, when it is being stitched, it is of the same design, and that along with the official mascot, this is very important, and the specific name has been given for the last 20 World Cups. So this 21st edition, the ball which has been used, its name is Telstar. So Telstar will be the official ball which will be used in the Russian 2018 official FIFA World Cup. So this Telstar is being based on the name and design of the first Adidas World Cup ball from the 1970, which the Brazilian team Pelé has won. From there it has been originated, and this ball was introduced first time on the curtain raiser when it was taken for this ball. That was 9th of November 2017 when it was shown to the public, and when it was unveiled that what will be the official ball. The Russian government has spent around a lot of budget. If you can guess the rough figures, might be you are unable to guess, because I will tell you 20 billion US dollars have been spent on this World Cup and arranging the stadiums and their beauty and the seating arrangements and the capacity of the grounds, the foolproof security facilities, the transports, the eating facilities, the internet cities they have created for this FIFA World Cup. So a big project, and hats off to the Russian government who has made this successfully. But still, whenever there is a World Cup, there is some controversy. So what is the controversy? I think I should not go in the detail, but shortly I will tell you that again the transgender issue that was originated before this World Cup with the Russian involvement. So LGBT people involvement having a lot of controversies, and lot of people have told that this World Cup should be withdrawn from Russia. But eventually Sepp Blatter, who is the official chairman and the president of the FIFA, Sepp Blatter, in the meeting in the Zurich, which is the headquarters of the FIFA, he declared that what I have decided in 2010 December, the official we have handed over this award to the Russia to host this prestigious event. I won't move back, and still the World Cup, which will be the same place, same cities, and with the same federation. So ultimately Russia winning the vote of the power man, who is the Sepp Blatter. So little bit about the tournament. The 20 World Cup tournaments have been won by the 8 national teams. 21st time now they will face to face each other in this World Cup. Before them, the 20 editions and the 8 different successful nations have won this prestigious award. How? I will give you the detail. If I go to the Brazil, as I told you when I was discussing the pool stages and the group stages, Brazil is the team having the most fans around the globe than any other team. So Brazilian team is the most successful team of this FIFA World Cup. 5 times they have won this tournament. They are the world champions for the 5th time, and they are the only team who have played in the every tournament. This should have been the killer factor, but might be I don't have the time for the killer factor. So I will merge this killer factor along with this, that the Brazilian team is the only team who have never missed the World Cup since the start 1930 in the Uruguay. Even the Second World War came between, and the 1942-46 World Cup couldn't happen, but they didn't miss any World Cup. They only missed the time during the World War II, but at that time there was no FIFA World Cup. So Brazil is the one champion team having the most experienced team of playing the World Cups. The team which has played the most matches in the World Cup is the Brazilian team, is the team of Pelé and team of Roberto Carlos, team of Ronaldinho and team of Ronaldinho and Ronaldo. So the other World Cup winners are the Germans and the Italians. These are the second successive and the successful winners of the World Cup. Both have won the trophy 4 times. So this is the second most successful team, and one of sorry figure for all of the Italian fans that Italy is no more in this World Cup. Can you believe that Italy will not be playing this World Cup for the very first time? Italy is out of the game, winning back-to-back matches in the 1934, 1938, and then winning in 1982 with a Paolo Rossi, then winning in the 2006, but eventually out of the World Cup, and they are no more to compete the game. But Germans are still having the chance to match the beauty of Brazilians. Germans have won this event in 1954, and then back in the 1974, then 1974 with the Francis Beckenbauer, and then with the Luther Matthews in the 1990, and then ultimately making a quadruple in 2015. Still more to go. I will give you the details, who has won, what are the achievements of the other teams, who are the other teams with the maiden attempts on the World Cup, but you will have to stay tuned on Match Point by Dr. Adnan. We are discussing road to the FIFA World Cup, road to the Russia. You have to tune in on the most watched sports television network around the North American globe, EAWAZ. I am Dr. Adnan, and I will be right back with you. Welcome back on the Match Point. And so we were discussing about this prestigious award winners the 5-time champions and the 4-time champions. But now, what about the solo champions who are having a lifetime chance to win the World Cup and eventually winning the World Cup? And they should be happy, because lot of nations, like the poor nations like Holland, who have made it to the finals 2 times and still unable to win the World Cup, and lot of achievers like Denmark, Mexico, and lot of other nations who have made to the quarterfinals, but they were unable to win the World Cup. But who are those solo winners? I want to tell you that Argentina and the inaugural winner Uruguay are the third category, who have won the 2 titles each. 1978 they have won, and then in the 1986 Argentina team won. And Uruguay is the team which is back in this World Cup after so many years, after 3-4 decades, and Uruguay was the team who has won the inaugural World Cup of 1930. And when after the World War, when they were back, they also won the 1950 World Cup title. So Uruguay and Argentina with a 2 each. But the other nations having a solo attempt, England, France and Spain, 1 each single attempt, and they have picked the World Cup. France in their home, England back in the 1966 in their home, and Spain obviously in the 2010 winning this prestigious event. The Raul, the striker, the 10 number shirt, the fan of thousands and the millions of hearts, and Raul, he couldn't win the World Cup in his era, but later on Spain ultimately winning in the 2010. So still lot more to go about this event. This is the most widely viewed game. If I say, I would not be wrong that the most watched game on the planet Earth is the soccer and the FIFA World Cup. It has crossed the Olympic Games so many years back, and this is the only game which has crossed the billions, more than the billion viewers around the globe, whether they are live seeing or on the television. But of course, along with this, there is a killer factor coming. So my killer factor is around when I'm discussing the most watched games. Do you know that football, along with this planet Earth, this is the only this is the only game, the FIFA World Cup, the only event which have been seen on some other planet. And that was seen back in the 1986 in the space shuttle, when the videos were sent via special technology to the football fans in the space. In the space shuttle, they have seen the World Cup while in the air and not having the equilibrium, and the computers were flying in the air, and there the FIFA World Cup was viewed in 1986, which was held in Mexico, North America, and obviously the South Americans and the North Americans, the big zones, and the Argentina winning that World Cup, the most famous World Cup, the World Cup of Maradona, where there was a game of death and there was a hand of God. As the show progresses, I will tell you what was the hand of God and what happened in that. That hand of God was observed in space. So on the moon, this game was seen. So the only game which has been seen on some other planet or some other place except the Earth. So we go next, and I may tell you the audience of all matches of the 2006 World Cup, which Italy has won, and Gianluigi Buffon team has picked the World Cup. That famous match and the grand finale between the Zinedine Zidane's French team and the Gianluigi Buffon's Italian team. 26.29 billion people have seen this game around the globe back in 2006. This is the most watched World Cup so far in the history which has been viewed, with an estimated 5.1 million people watching the final game that was between Italians and the French, the Western Europe giants, and ultimately going to the penalty shootout. And 850.68 million people have seen this penalty shootout. So this 8 minutes of epic penalty shootout is the most watched shootout around the globe since the man and the human being came on existence on this earth. So this was a very interesting fact. And ninth of the entire population of the planet who have watched this penalty shootout which Gianluigi Buffon saved, and David Trauzia's sorry figure, and the France was out of the World Cup, and the Italians winning this prestigious event for the 4th record time until the Brazil made it for the 5th time and broken all the records. From 1930 to 1970, the Jules Rimet Trophy was awarded to the World Cup teams. Who was Jules Rimet? I will tell you about the Jules Rimet. Don't get confused that what are these names. Jules Rimet Trophy has been named after Jules Rimet. Originally, simply this World Cup was known as Coupe du Monde, but in 1946, this Coupe du Monde was changed and this was named after the Jules Rimet, who was the then president of the FIFA Federation. As right now Sepp Blatter is the president. At that time Jules Rimet was the president, and he was the one who made an effort while seeing the football game in the Olympic Games, 1908 Olympics, then 1912 Olympics. In the Olympic Games in the earlier 19th century, earlier 20th century, when he has seen, he tried to make on his own another event like this, the global event. Why not the World Cup? Why the Olympic Games? Why not to choose the best footballer? Why not to choose the best game of the football and the best team of the football? And for that he designed a competition which we say a World Cup. And that World Cup is the same World Cup where we are on the 21st edition. On his name, this trophy which was placed in the first World Cup list was put on the name after the Coupe du Monde. After the World War, this trophy was named as the Jules Rimet Trophy. As I promised you in the beginning of the show that what happened to the Jules Rimet Trophy, where is it right now? This I will tell you right after some minutes. In 1970, Brazil, the third victory in the tournament, entitled them to keep the trophy permanently. Usually the trophy was handed back to the next winners, and this trophy was going on, but the rules were not the same at that time. When the 1970 came and the Brazilian team, FIFA, the Palace team, that was the first team in the history of the World Cup to make the hat-tricks of the World Cup. In spite of the 2 wins by the Italians back-to-back in 1934-38, by the Uruguay in 1930 and 1950, first time it happened that the Brazilian team, after the 1958 win and after the 1962 win back-to-back, this was the third time in the 1970 that they have picked this trophy for the third time. So after they picked this third time, the trophy was awarded to the Brazilian team and to the Pelé for the lifelong. So Jules Rimet Trophy was no more. But Jules Rimet Trophy then should have been the Sao Paulo, correct? So it means if Brazil has been given, so it should be in some Brazil, in some palace, or in some presidential office, or in some sports city, or with some federation. But Jules Rimet Trophy is not there. Where is that? Still time to come. I will tell you about the Jules Rimet Trophy. So the new trophy, after the 1970, a new trophy was designed in which the victorious goddess was having the hand above the head, and she was picking the World Cup ball, and that golden ball with several carats gold football was taken by this victorious goddess, and this new trophy was designed up till this date, this very date when we are in the Russia for the 2018 World Cup. The same trophy has been used, and this has been taken back by the federation, and usually the replica have been allotted to the victorious winner. And who was the designer? Italian designer Silvia Gazzinggia has designed this latest trophy, which is still up to date and has been used by the FIFA Federation. The new trophy you can see on the screens, 36 centimeter, 14.2 inches high, made of solid 18 karat gold, 75% gold, and it weighs about 6.175 kg, 13.6 pound, and the base contains 2 layers of semi-precious malachite, while the bottom side of the trophy bears the engraved year and name of each FIFA World Cup winner since 1974. The new trophy was first of all won by the Germans. Germans are the very first team who has won this trophy, the new trophy, and Germans by chance are the only team who has won until today when I'm doing the show. Germans are the first one to grab this trophy and Germans are the last one to grab this trophy. Only difference, the one they grabbed the beginning in the 1974, at that time they were West Germans, and now when they grabbed it, now they are West and East combined. FIFA World Cup, simply called the World Cup Championship, is being awarded after every 4 years to the new nation since the inaugural tournament in the 1930 World Cup, except in the 1942 and 46 when it was not held because of the Second World War, as I have told you. Current champion is Germany, which has won the 4th title in 2014, held in Brazil, beating the host very badly 7-1 in the quarterfinals and breaking millions of fans' hearts in Sao Paulo. The world's first international football match, which was a challenge match, also like cricket, England was involved, and that was back in Glasgow in 1872 between Scotland and England, and that match was drawn with a 0-0, with both the teams couldn't score any goal. So until we go back to the history, this is the very first game which was officially played between the two countries. Due to the success of the Olympic football tournaments, I have told you earlier that later on the Jules Rimet inducted this and made the idea along with the greats of football to make the event, and we say it today, the global prestigious FIFA World Cup, and we are on the 21st edition. So on 28th of May 1928, FIFA Congress in Amsterdam decided to stage the World Championship officially itself, and that was the time when after the 2 years, 1930, Uruguay was given the chance to host this event for the very first time, and the host became the champion eventually, Uruguay, winning the football championship in the 1930 and the host country, inaugural country of the World Cup, and the first goal of the World Cup was scored by the French footballer Lucien Laurent, who has scored the very first goal of the World Cup, FIFA World Cup, back in the 1930 in the last century. So now quickly I will progress because I have to go forward. Time is short. After the 1930, so there came the 1934. 1934, the World Cup was taken by the Italian team. After the 1934, 1938 came. 1938 Italy team World Cup as again won by the Italians. These were the back-to-back wins. This was the first ever time when World Cup was won by someone back-to-back. So Italy team made it doubled. But unfortunately, after the 1938, there came the World War. So Second World War, Hitler and all the controversies came in between, and the World Cup couldn't happen for the 1942 and the 1946. And then what happened during the World Cup? Where was this trophy? This trophy was on some very special place. At that time, this was not the Jules Rimet trophy, this was Coupe du Monde. So Coupe du Monde trophy was given to the Prime Minister of the Italy to put in the safe place where the cannon shots and the gun shots and the rifle shots of the World War don't hit the trophy. So this trophy was taken by the Prime Minister of the Italy in Rome. In Rome when they went, you know, can you believe where he put that trophy? He put that trophy in his shoe box under his bed. In his bedroom, there were a lot of shoes, and it has been told in the history that one of his famous shoes and his favorite shoes, he has kept the box, and that box was somewhat like a punch box. When you put the press the feet on that box automatically opening at that time for the Prime Minister's shoes. In that shoes box, he took his favorite shoes out and he took the trophy back in that box, and that trophy was safe during the World War. After the World War finished, then the World Cup game came, and that was 1950. In 1950, Uruguay again, after the inaugural World Cup, again Uruguay this time winning the World Cup. Now they duplicate the World Cup. This was the second time now after the Italy that some team has won the World Cup twice. So Italy and Uruguay have two World Cups each. And then came the next World Cup, 1954, when the Germans dominated and the West Germans winning the World Cup for the very first time in the 1954. After the 1954, the game switched to after the 4 years to the 1958. In 1958, the Brazilian giants and the South Americans, the polished South Americans, came into the ruling. First time Brazil showed that they are the force as a nation and they are the big giants in this game, soccer we say. And Brazilian team winning the prestigious event for the first time. Next World Cup when came, it shifted to the Chile. In Chile, the game happened in 1962. When they came to the 1962, Brazilian team defended the title successfully. After the 1934 and 38, Brazilian team became the first ever team to defend the title successfully in 1962. And then the World Cup came in 1966, first time to the Western Europe towards England. England was the host and England winning the World Cup in 1966. But there is a but in the story. What happened in the 1966? Here I have to tell you something which is very important about the trophy. Now, as I told you, Coupe du Monde trophy has been shifted to the Jules Rimet trophy after the World War. So this Jules Rimet trophy was displayed in the Lancaster and in the different cities of the England along with the Manchester. Right 1 month before the World Cup, on 20th of February, what happened? Trophy was gone. Trophy was stolen. Some very clever thief took it out of the safe. In the early morning when the guards came, the wood stoppers and lot of nails and the strips, they were on the ground. Back door was open of that locker and trophy was no more there. So what happened? So World Cup was having 1 month to go. England was in deep trouble. English government was in deep trouble. FIFA was going to sue them, and then president was very furious that where the trophy went. Jules Rimet trophy was gone. Then they hired at that time one of the most famous services of the Scotland Yard. You have heard of those detective agency. That Scotland Yard was hired, and when Scotland Yard was hired, they hired one dog. What was the name of the dog? This is a very historic dog. This is not the ordinary dog. The dog which we say the dog of the year later on, and that dog's name was Pickles. Pickles was the name of the dog, and that was a white collie dog known for his role in finding this Jules Rimet trophy by sniffing it out of the bushes. David Corbett was the proud owner of this dog, and after the trophy was won by England, £6,000 at that time in 1966 was offered to David Corbett, and David Corbett was brought to the celebration night in the England along with this dog. This dog became famous overnight, and this dog came into the stardom and he became the superstar. The dog became a superstar after sniffing this trophy and finding this Jules Rimet stolen trophy back in 1996. Pickles was later starred with Eric Sykes and the June Whitfield in the 1966 film The Spy with a Cold Nose. He worked later on with a Hollywood movie also. He also appeared on the several television programs including Blue Peter, and he was also named the Dog of the Year, and he was awarded the Year of Free Food by Pet Food Manufacturer. Ultimately in 1967 this dog died, and he was strangled by his choke chain led to the cotton tree branch when he was chasing a cat near his home, and he died ultimately. And still a collar on his display in the National Football Museum in the Manchester. The Pickles band is over there showing and reminding us that what happened to the World Cup trophy. So still some more news to go and some more program to go, and I have to tell you that what happened to after the 1966 World Cup. When we go to the next show, and I will come to the next show, I will let you know that what was the latest trophy and what happened after the 1966, and we will try to reach from 1966 until today's date 2018. So time for me to say goodbye. We are building shows for the road to the World Cup, road to the FIFA World Cup, road to the Russia, and when next time I will come, I will give you the chain of this road to the FIFA World Cup, and we will tell you about the latest updates, that what's going on, what's in, what's out. So time for me to say goodbye from here. So stay tuned to the EOS, stay tuned to the match point. Dr. Adnan says you bye bye. Take care and bye bye.